And Mind Crypto here. I hope we're all having a wonderful day. I'm kind of excited today. I really am. But there is some news, and it's out today. The BIS referring to Quant. We'll get to that in just a moment. Remember, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any further videos. Also, tap that like. Only takes a millisecond, and you'll be doing me a massive favor. And please remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and none of the information that I provide in this video is a signal to sell or buy. Remember that. Anyhow, so we get on to the crypto bubbles as we do normally. And we can see Quant is ranked at 50 with a market cap of $1.19 billion, with a price still sitting at that $98, with a 24-hour volume of $17 million. And as we can see, we are 0.5% down in the hour, 0.4% down in the day, down 5.7% in the week, and up 1.4% in the month. So it's looking green today. Obviously, we're not seeing a huge bit of movement from Quant, and it seems like that has been the case for a week or so now. But as you know, it doesn't bother me. I'm here for the long term, and the news and the information today makes me even more positive about Quant. We move over to Crypto Quant, where we can see what's going on with the exchange supply. We can see that's heading downwards. That's partly to do with the news of what's happened with Binance and CZ, people looking to place their money in safer havens in private wallets. But it's good to see that it's going on. It can help reduce sell pressure, but we need some news. And have I got some news for you today? Anyhow, we move over to Franz Money, where he quotes on a post I posted yesterday: the quant phenomenon is playing out. Technical analysis clearly shows algo price depressing manipulation. 100% circulating supply of only 14 million tokens, or just over. Exchange supply is reducing and wallets quickly increasing. The day will come where micro levels of demand send it. PS, quant has utility. And in my post here, we could see as more quant leaves the exchanges to find a safe haven, we are seeing larger than normal increase in wallet creations, up 679 in the last 2 days to 149,310. I say bring on the 150k. You've got to remember, this is still relatively small, and the market cap of Quant is still relatively small when we think of 1.19 billion, which in my eyes, this is why I'm so positive with regards to Quant. We see this beautiful tweet from Sam, and I love it when Sam puts out a tweet because you know it's going to be alpha. He says here, if you could see a tenth of what I have seen, where it is going for Quant. And we can see here, join Matthias Studat, Head of Finance, Risk and Org Development at SDX for an exciting panel discussion. The future of money is now visible. What does it mean for you? With Matthew Osborne, Senior Manager of Payments Policy at the Bank of England, Gilbert Verdian, CEO of Quant Network, and Jack Fletcher, Head of Policy and Government Relations, Digital Currencies at Inside R3. Instead of visiting details such as CBDC design choices or the regulation of stablecoins, the webinar discussion will stick to a higher level question. What is the likeliest future of money now? This continues with Sam saying, Quant in the backbone of the new Swiss financial system. This is a great find. Swiss, the same infrastructure for RTGS Interop Helvetia, cross-border CBDC, Jura, and soon wholesale CBDC domestically. All the same infra, Corda plus some interop provider. Let's dive in. So we can see here, conceptually, the transition to a wholesale CBDC is simple. When you change that to being a wholesale CBDC, now the operator of that node is the SMB. So in terms of technology, it's the same, said Nunes. And the same infrastructure has already been used in 3 previous wholesale CBDC trials, Project Jura, and Project Helvetia 1 and 2. From a legal perspective, a CBDC is quite different. Nunes is optimistic that the pilot will go well, but is cautious about the second guessing whether the SMB will extend the pilot to becoming permanent. He added SDX has already explored alternatives with SMB and SDX members that achieve similar-ish outcomes, but a CBDC checks all the boxes. Now, This is what I'm kind of excited about. So I received this morning from Naz. Unbelievable, literally everything Gilbert's been saying. Oh, now let me go over. This is quite a long read, but I'm going to get to the good bits, so I may pass some of it. And this is an article from the Bank of International Settlements today, the future of monetary system from vision to reality. And this is a keynote speech from Mr. Augustin Carstens, the General Manager of the Bank of International Settlements at the CBDC and Future Monetary System Seminar in Seoul, Korea, 23rd of November 2023. Today, this is hot off the press. Now, I'm not going to read all of it because I don't want to bore you anyway with too much information because I know people can just turn off. But there is some stuff in here that is quant. Everything is speculative, so we take everything with a pinch of salt. But we look at this and we read between the lines, and I'm going to just bypass some of it. And here we see, to be sure, there have been some breakthroughs. Many countries have introduced fast payment systems, and we can now access basic banking services via apps instead of visiting a bank or branch. But flaws and roadblocks persist. Many of these are simply unacceptable given the technology we have at our disposal. The fundamental problems we still face in financial systems is advanced economies as well as emerging and developing ones, including the following. Many parts of society remain unbanked without adequate payment, savings or credit services. Underuse of financial services due to slow and costly transactions, low customer satisfaction and feeble connectivity, particularly for cross-border transactions. These problems affect the economy and our daily lives in many ways. They put a drag on economic growth and hinder credit allocation, while aggravating income inequality and encouraging financial activity to migrate to unregulated shadow intermediaries. And he goes on to say, why do these problems persist? Much of the blame rests on the way the financial systems have evolved in separate silos. Now, we've heard that many times, separate silos, walled gardens, and in a piecemeal way through minor tweaks of existing systems and processes. Legacy systems and outdated products abound. Many were adopted at the time when computing power and fast, affordable communications were scarce. Even today, money and assets reside at the edges of communication networks in separate proprietary databases or ledgers. These databases are patched together via third-party messaging systems so that messages have to be sent back and forth in a complex web bilateral links, all following a separate path from one corresponding to money or other financial assets. This means that almost all transactions need to be reconciled before ultimately being settled with finality, often with significant delays. All this makes transactions in our current system slow and costly. Cross-border transactions are even worse, as systems need to be connected through international messaging networks on top of domestic ones involving a raft of different legal and governance frameworks. History teaches us incremental fixes, whilst tempting and expedient in the short term, ultimately fall short. This is particularly true when incremental fixes accumulate on top of a legacy systems. Each innovation may have a sound purpose, but the need to remain compatible with legacy systems holds it back. This is why I am convinced that we need a quantum leap, and luckily recent advances in technology make such a leap possible. Let me highlight the most significant of these advancements. So we've got here massive computer power, cheap instantaneous communication systems, near universal internet connectivity and smartphone access, available trusted computing, indispensable for security and privacy, the possibility of representing assets digitally through tokens that encompass all of the information about an asset and what can be done with it, and in the not so distant future, rapid advances in artificial intelligence and quantum computing. Exploiting these technological advances would allow us to build financial systems centered on the individual. This would enable a far-reaching democratization of finance, where each person has access to a digital representation of any asset for financial purposes, regardless of its value, and they would be able to send or receive such an asset in any unit or amount to anyone, anywhere, anytime, using any device. In other words, individuals could experience the same level of ease immediacy, privacy, security, and reliability from the monetary and financial system that they find in other parts of their lives, such as when they make long distance call to anywhere practically for free or make an e-commerce purchase from their smartphone. Society rightly expects nothing less, yet the sad truth is that these growing expectations have outpaced the ability of our segmented financial systems to deliver. So we're getting on to the good parts now, and you may recognize some of the information and some of the words that are being used, and they really correspond to what we've already heard previously. The best way to knit together transactions and operations amongst markets and financial services is to bring them onto shared programmable platforms. This is what we have labeled a unified ledger. A unified ledger would be a network of networks. A unified ledger, network of networks. I wonder where we've heard that before. So the network of networks that would allow various components of the financial system to work seamlessly together. Now, where have we heard seamlessly? And I talk about this every day almost. That word is being used so often. And he says, in particular, it would have the potential to combine the monetary system, that is, central bank money and commercial bank money, with other assets, making it possible for instantaneous payment, clearing, and settlement of any transaction. Now, we know the ISO 222 messaging system was released, what, 3, 4, 5 days ago? Literally this week or last week. So such a ledger would allow for the use of smart contracts and composability. I wonder who's got smart contracts. QRC20. A smart contract is a computer program that executes conditional if then and while commands. Composability means that many smart contracts covering a huge variety of transactions and situations can be bundled together like money Lego. With these new functionalities, and any sequence of transaction in programmable money and digital assets could be automated and seamlessly integrated. This would eliminate the need for manual interventions that delay transactions. It also would enable simultaneous instant payments and atomic settlements. Now, where have we heard atomic settlements across a whole range of assets? Now, we know who does that. From the above, it is clear that the three main components of a unified ledger are digital and programmable money, digital assets, and digital infrastructure that supports their operation and integrity. And for all these three components to work together, the key step is tokenization, which I've talked about a lot. I believe is the next biggest thing. Tokenization is a means of recording money and assets in digital form or programmable ledger. These tokens integrate the records of an asset normally found in a traditional database with the rules and logic governing their transfer. In practical terms, this means that the users could transfer an asset directly through programming instructions rather than through intermediaries such as account managers who act on behalf of the user. So we continue. This transformation could unlock numerous benefits. For one, enhance automation and facilitate faster, cheaper, and more convenient transactions along more efficient settlement processes, and we know what they are. This could help overcome the settlement risk associated with delivery versus payment and payment versus payment arrangements, which are currently imperfectly dealt with through specialized institutions or workarounds such as escrow. So we see here, programmability could enable the contingent performance of multiple transactions through smart contracts and composability. This opens the door to novel types of economic arrangements that are currently not feasible due to incentive and information frictions, even though they make perfect sense from an economic point of view. So, how do we implement effective, forward-looking tokenization in the financial systems? A logical first step is tokenize money. After all, money is the cornerstone of the financial system underpinning every transaction, and in most transactions, in most countries, it is already gone digital. Our fundamental trust in money stems from monetary systems built around central banks. The central bank issues the economy's currency that serves as a key unit of account and ensures the ultimate finality of payments through settlement on its balance sheet. Building on this trust, commercial banks then issue money in form of deposits, which serve as primary means of payment in our current two-tier monetary system. The two-tier system with central bank and commercial bank money ensures that a dollar, euro, or won deposited in one bank equals the exact amount of the same currency in another bank, or in the form of cash at the ATM. This crucial feature, termed singleness of money, was highlighted by Tommaso, I won't say surname because I won't be able to pronounce it, in speech right here in Seoul almost 20 years ago. The financial system of the future should keep what works in the current system and build on it. This calls for tokenized form of central bank money, in other words, wholesale CBDC, for use amongst financial systems and tokenized version of commercial bank deposit. The CBDC would serve as the core of the system, while tokenized deposits would preserve the benefit of commercial bank money as the primary means of payment, but with the added benefit of programmability and composability. Tokenized deposits would also ensure that banks can continue to provide the financial intermediation function that the economies require. Finally, by preserving the current two-tiered monetary system, tokenized deposits preserve the singleness of money, unlike alternatives such as stablecoins. For individuals, a monetary system based on wholesale CBDCs and tokenized deposits would feel similar to the current one. Indeed, the introduction of wholesale CBDCs would not affect their customer experience at all. Users of tokenized deposits would still have bank accounts, which they could use for savings or transaction purposes. Both these bank accounts would have greater functionality. For example, users could buy shares or other financial assets without the delays and costs associated with third-party intermediaries. As soon as they make a transaction, the trade will settle and the change in their money and asset holdings will show up in the digital wallets. But tokenizing the monetary system would be only a start. We need to cast the net wider and more boldly if we are to capture the full benefits of technology for everyday financial institutions. Specifically, we should aim to tokenize claims on other financial and real assets such as government securities, equities, or property registrations. To harness the benefits of tokenization, we need all the components to work together. Again, that word, seamlessly. The key here is to guarantee that all digital asset networks are interconnected and interoperable. The technology is already there to achieve this. I wonder which technology is that. The real challenge is to work out the legal and regulatory frameworks, the governance and the communication protocols needed for such a network of networks to operate. In short, we need to build the digital infrastructure. We need to be practical. It is hard to imagine that we will unify markets and transactions in every relevant jurisdiction. We should aim for protocols that enable interconnect systems to make them interoperable. Public authorities need to take the lead here. Central banks should move fast to develop programmable wholesale CBDCs, as they are currently doing in many jurisdictions worldwide. Some may also consider issuing retail CBDCs to further expand society's payment options. Financial authorities should facilitate the tokenization of deposits, that is, the digitalization of commercial bank money. Governments have a role to play by promoting the tokenization of many asset classes as possible. In addition, we need to solve sizable governance and legal challenges, and we must put the right institutional structures in place. And we see here on our Innovation Hub has been working on numerous projects, such as Project Dura and Mariana, that address the specific technical questions that need to be resolved to speed the development and adoption of CBDCs and other tokenized assets, including commercial bank deposits. Meanwhile, we're exploring an experiment with Unified Ledger project, building on the findings of these projects, as well as the New York Innovation Center Regulated Liability Network, RLN, proof of concept. If the scoping work is successful, we hope this project will feature both tokenized central bank money and commercial bank deposits from multiple jurisdictions, and with time, tokenized security. Now, I'm not going to go on, but there's so much language in there. So much when we're talking about unified ledger, network of networks, seamlessly, all language that's been used so often. And we can see some key information with regards to the RLN, the regulated liability network, which we know is quite important. And we can see so much information that is being fed to us almost without actually being blatantly said. But remember, this is what it is. They're not going to tell us immediately. We have to read between the lines, and it's all very interesting. He says here, before we finish, let me conclude, the future of monetary system needs wholesale central bank money at its core, complemented by tokenized commercial bank money and potentially other tokenized assets. and these need to be combined on a common digital infrastructure. The concept of a unified ledger is the vision, the North Star in designing the future of the monetary system. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry it was quite a long one today. I felt that this was very important information. So please subscribe, please hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any further videos. All the best, and I'll catch you later.